Oh, hi. Welcome. I didn't hear you come in, but I'm glad you're here. You know, it's been a busy semester, but that busyness fosters productivity. And with changes in technology, it gives us a wonderful opportunity to improve how we teach and how we help students advance their educational goals. It's always a good thing to take a step back and kind of look at where you've come from, the things you've done, and to understand the reasons behind those advances. So today, as I was thinking about the recent changes I've made in my online courses and my hybrid courses, especially my English 1301 Comp 1 courses, I've had a chance to think about some of the things like backwards design, foundational learning, and active learning. Backward design prioritizes the learning outcomes instead of the topics to be covered. That begs the question is, what are the learning outcomes? Well, in English 1301, of course, you want students to become better writers. And the type of writing that we teach is basic college composition. It's literally in the title of the course. And while some see that as formulaic with thesis and topic sentences and transitions, specific details, ideas grouped or chunked together, it's also a very useful, a very practical ability, a skill to have for college students, since they're going to need this in literally the rest of their college careers. Psychology, history, sociology, all of these courses expect students to be able to write in a college level. And so on the very first day of class, we cover that. We talk about the importance of learning the material, of recognizing how important the learning outcomes are, of why it's important. If you want to be successful, can you do it without Comp 1? Sure. I've seen a lot of students take Comp 1 at the very end of their academic careers, but how much easier, how much more effective could they have been as a college student if they had mastered this material in the first semester or first year of their college career? We also get a chance to think about foundational learning and how important it is to ensure a solid grasp of core concepts. And again, early on in the semester, first day or first week, we sit down and we talk about, okay, these are the things that are important in college composition. And I provide a very short list called college composition terms. I think there's 5 words that they really need to know in order to really do well in the course. This came about a few years ago because at the very end of the semester, we were talking about something pretty basic, format, which is the way it looks, the paper looks on the page. And I mean, we were literally reviewing for the final exam, and I said something about format, and the student said, well, what's that? And I realized we'd been talking about this all semester. This is a concept that comes up with every single essay. Not an important concept, but just one that everyone's expected to know, like 1 + 1 in math. And yet at the end of the semester, I had at least one student, and probably more, who didn't understand, didn't recognize that terminology. So now I make sure students get it early, and get it often. We also deal a lot with active learning in the Blackboard Ultra upgrade. And in English 1301, active learning, we learn by doing. We have different assessments, which we're going to talk about in just a moment, but we basically have 3 assessments. We have daily quizzes over just a little short daily material. We have opportunities to discuss them, both in the discussions and the journals. We have major quizzes, which in my class is just the midterm and the final exam. But the way that students prove that they understand what a narration essay is, or description essay, or compare and contrast, is by writing them. We learn by doing. And so they get a chance to write the essay, to brainstorm, to pre-write, to come up with ideas, to put those ideas into groups, and to follow the writing process of pre-writing, writing, and rewriting, and of course revisions or proofreading is what we used to call it. But I'm convinced that we learn by doing. Data-informed decision making is a very fancy way of saying, do other people who have taught the same material, who have taken the course, who have done the same things that I'm doing, have they done the formal research and published it to support what I'm doing? Yes, of course they have, and yes, I have looked over, I have read this material. I do try to keep up with what's going on in my career field. English composition is a big one. I used to subscribe to a journal called Teaching English in the Computer Lab, which was fascinating, had lots and lots of great ideas. But what I found most useful, despite tons of published research, or I'm sorry, in addition to all the published research, is my own experience. As I look back over my years of teaching, I see places where I've missed the mark, I see places where I've been successful, I see the type of students that I've dealt with over the years, and kind of recognize some of their common needs or some of their common goals, and I'm able to help them work toward their decisions. Transparency in learning has always been a big deal, and even more so with these upgrades and modifications. I don't see how you can teach a course, I don't see how you can be successful unless you let the student clearly know what the expectations are, what the learning outcomes are. And I do that, I call it something different, I call it grading standards. But every time we write an out-of-class essay, students have 2 weeks, which is really about the right amount of time to do this. They have an assignment sheet, which gives them the topic, the due date, and the grading standards. And of course, we go over those in class, either video for online or in class and hybrid, or the traditional face-to-face classes. And I try to make sure every student understands what I'm talking about, or what the grading standards are, and both how to meet them, how to exceed them, and how to miss them. I think it's important that students understand, hey, this is what will get you an F, as well as this is what will get you an A. We frequently talk about ways to bomb the final. We talk about ways to get a 0 on a major assignment, because they need to know both the upper range and, of course, things to avoid doing if they want to avoid a bad grade. Caring and inclusivity is a big topic these days. It comes up a lot. You have to kind of balance that with being kind, being inclusive with all students. Well, of course, inclusive with all students, but you have to be balanced in your approach. You really can't show favoritism to one student. I don't like the word fair. I like the word consistent. You want to be consistent in dealing with each and every student. You want to be totally all-encompassing when it comes to grading essays. And grading essays is very subjective. My grades tend to be very, I don't want to say easy, but fairly straightforward, I guess is a nice way of saying it, because I realize that not everyone is going to understand things the way I explain them. And so, yes, being aware of student individual needs is an important part of the course. So, I want to say thank you for this opportunity to advance my skills, to learn more about Blackboard Ultra and go through the modules. It's certainly been a learning experience. Thanks.